Hello, and welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. Today, we are here to do our Married to Medicine review from this past Sunday. We are Married to Medicine season 12, episode number 9. The title of the episode was called Unexpected Consequences. It was a great episode. A lot of notes were taken. When I tell you, this episode kind of worked a little bit of my nerves, but I think we can get through it. The episode opens up where we left off on last week. Heavenly walks out to the pool and they make Contessa aware that Heavenly's there. So Contessa goes out behind Heavenly. And Dr. Jackie walks over to Simone and she asks Dr. Simone if she could validate her feelings. Dr. Simone says she doesn't need validation for her feelings. And I put, then what do you want, Teef? What is it exactly that you're looking for? She said, I just need for you to speak your thoughts. And Dr. Jackie then said, I understand, but I can still say to you that I want you and Dr. Heavenly to hear each other. She put emphasis on hearing each other. So you can find out why. Dr. Jackie said she chose not to talk to Heavenly about it at all because she wanted to hear it from, I guess, both of them. And Dr. Simone responds with, okay. Then we see Contessa going out to the pool area to talk to Dr. Heavenly. She says, I called you. And Heavenly responds with, where's my room at? And Contessa tells her, you didn't call me back. Then Heavenly says it was her man's birthday night. And Contessa says, I know, but that doesn't mean I knew you were coming. Contessa says she was so confused. And Contessa says she thought that Heavenly was coming with them on yesterday, which meant flying out with them the day before when they had arrived. In the confessionals, we hear Contessa say that Simone wasn't happy about Heavenly being there. And now all of a sudden, everything Simone wants is taking precedence. And she didn't know what she should do as a host. Would they hash it out or act like typical Heavenly does, like nothing ever happened, and just keep it moving? That's what Contessa said in her confessional. Heavenly said she felt like she needed a break from the group because there was a lot going on at Angel's party. Heavenly said what happened with Simone was blown way out of proportion, and she removed herself so that things would not go any further. And it is okay not to be on a girl's trip, is what Heavenly said. Contessa asked Heavenly, are you here or did you just come by to say hey? Heavenly said, I am here until Thursday. In the confessional, Heavenly says that Quad had called her and kept her abreast of what Simone was saying behind her back. And that Simone was spreading lies about Heavenly, and Heavenly says she had to come and defend herself, which is something I think Quad had also told her. Back to Jackie and Simone. Jackie said there's nothing right about the situation, but Simone and Heavenly have been friends on and off, and they needed to at least hear each other out in person. Simone said it's just hard to, and Jackie stopped her and said, no, it's not hard. And Simone said, it is. It is. Simone said it's hard for me. And I putting my quotations, I think Simone fails to realize her part is in this entire situation. Heavenly is wrong, but so is Simone. Dr. Jackie said she wasn't going to say who was right and who was wrong because some of this includes someone's opinion. And I totally agree with that because although Heavenly had a part, Simone had a part, somewhere in the middle of it is the truth, right? So Heavenly saw it one way, Simone saw it one way, but in the middle is exactly what happened. Dr. Jackie said in her confessional that this is going to be hard because whatever she says could damage one or both of her friends. Dr. Jackie tells Simone that she knows Heavenly can get obnoxious and that she reacts, but she knows Heavenly's heart. And I think that's true. Heavenly does have a good heart. She just talks way too much. And the thing is, Dr. Heavenly doesn't take anything seriously. Dr. Jackie said in her confessional that if anyone knows heartbreak, she was feeling that physical pain right then. Dr. Heavenly then said these two have come to a place that they may never reconnect again. And I truly believe that they can reconnect. I just think there's a lot of foolishness going on. And the crazy part is, how do you dissolve the foolishness? Heavenly had going on in her life, or whatever that made her think that it was all right to do this to her. And I said, I guess Simone might need a mirror. Dr. Jackie told her, and that is exactly what you need to share with Heavenly. Because when you get upset, something comes out of you. And Simone responds with, the neighbors are going to know I'm in town, as she swats a gnat. Dr. Jackie said she saw the county jail as she was coming in, and Simone responds with, you got my bail money? Simone said that had been a running joke that they had for years, that the bail money was under the mattress. And Dr. Jackie said, who brought the gnats in the house? And Simone said, you and your people. We go back outside. Contessa tells Heavenly, we have a room with multiple beds. And Heavenly responds with, I want that room right there. Contessa said, that's Quad's room. And Heavenly said, that is where I'm staying, in the room with Quad. And Contessa asked Quad, is that okay that you share a room with her? And first, Quad was like, she can't have my room, but we can share a room. And I thought that was nice. Contessa wants to have a conversation at dinner. She made that very clear. Quad said in her confessional that she had been keeping Dr. Heavenly updated on all the talks and the deets, is what she said. She said she feels like it's only fair that she knows what she's walking into. What they want is clarity of all the allegations that Simone had. All of the gnats started flying around outside, and Brandy said suddenly, they have all these flies in these gnats. It is all because they are attracted to what Dr. Heavenly was dishing. I guess she's saying she's dishing out some BS. The ladies get dressed. We see Toya going into Simone's room, and she asks her if Dr. Heavenly spoke. She asked Simone if Dr. Heavenly had spoken to her, and Simone said no. Toya said, "What the hell are you here for? You're going to be staying. Why the hell are you here?" And she said, "You're going to be staying in the house, and you said you don't feel you're going to be staying in the house with someone you said you don't feel safe with." And Dr. Simone said she's not staying in a hotel. Toy said no, she has luggage and wigs. And I thought that was so uh tasteless, but we know that Toya has a habit of being tasteless. But here's the thing is that if you expect people to move on from a situation, you have to sometimes remove yourself from you can't keep egging the situation on. And I believe, just like Dr. Mimi says, I believe Toya likes chaos. I have took a little clip because I wanted to share it. Fair use, section 107 of the Copyright Act qualifies this use as fair use for criticism, such as commentary, criticism, and education. I'll be doing some commentary and some criticism. Let me put that on so you can see my clicker. Let's watch this.
It was good. It was really good. Just peaceful.
Did you speak to him?
No, no. Did Harry speak to me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
What the hell? You just said that you don't feel safe, but here you are staying in a house with the person you don't feel safe with.
She's not staying in a hotel.
No.
Now, what was her purpose for doing that? What was the reason that Toya felt she needed to have that conversation with Dr. Simone? I just feel like it was classless, it was tasteless, and it just keeps the mess going. At some point, you've got to either try to help with the situation or just remove yourself from the situation. In Quad's room, Quad tells Heavenly, you were the topic of discussion last night. It was a lot. Did she push you? This is what Quad is asking Heavenly. Heavenly reacted it for Quad. She actually went through the whole reenactment of it for Quad. But she used explicits. And we do know Dr. Simone did not cuss at her. And they replayed the video. This goes to show you how people can view the same thing totally different. Simone had her view of it, and then Heavenly had her view of it. Dr. Heavenly said it was uncalled for, and she didn't like it. And let's not forget, all of this situation came across because Dr. Simone had been looking up people's information. And if we go off script and off of the Married to Medicine show, we know that in the background that both of the ladies have said this was something that was discussed in an open forum with all of the women. All of the women. I think that The thing about Quad's car may have not been discussed in front of the ladies, but all of the ladies were aware that Dr. Simone does look up their personal information. Dr. Heavenly asked Quad, did Simone own any part of the situation? And Quad said, what I want you to understand is she said she never pushed you. Dr. Heavenly said the energy was evil, for lack of a better word, and Simone was acting unhinged. Heavenly said she could be in the same room with Simone. Even though all of this had transpired, she said she could be in the same room with Simone. Back in the room with Simone and Toya, Simone said if she was going to get out of the bed, the one thing she was not going to do was sit in the room with someone who was lying on her. And I said, Toya's here for all of the mess. That's the only reason why Toya's here. It's for the mess because we know Toya has nothing going on. Toya said, you are about to have that happen. So she was telling her, get ready because you're going to be in a room with someone who lied on you. I don't think that there was anyone lying per se. I think they both have their perception because Simone made the comment that Heavenly had her hand around her neck, which in the video you see her hand is not around her neck. And then you have Heavenly hearing Simone cuss, and we know she did not cuss. Back in the room with I'm sorry, we already said that. Dr. Simone is in her confessional. She says, we all know that I can go to 10, but if you mess with me on this trip, I will go to 12. And I said, girl, shut up, please. Girl, just be quiet because you're doing way too much. Toya tells Dr. Simone, she said Eugene said Heavenly is perfect for the candidacy because all she does is lie. And they move past that. We go on further down. We see a scene with Steve and his kids. He's trying to get them ready to go take their bath so they can get ready for bed. And honey, the little girl falls out and Savannah says she ain't ready to go to bed. And she starts punching Stevie. So we see that they like to punch each other. It ain't just one sided. Stevie ain't doing all the licks. Savannah do licks too. Eugene, he and his sons are making rugs. The boys look just alike. Ashton and Aiden, handsome young men. And Eugene asked them, if you're always around mom, does it bother you that dad is working away and he's hardly home? And the boys both say, no, it doesn't bother them at all. He also asked them, would they just be learning from mom and not from dad? And they all got a good chuckle out of that. Scott is with his two of his kids. He and Contessa's 2 children, and they're playing pool. Little girl's cheating, and Scott said he didn't see any of that. I thought that was a cute scene. Cecil arrives at his son's townhome, or at he and Simone's townhome. Cecil says it's the guy's time when Simone is gone. Cecil talks to the boys about Simone's feelings, and I don't think they really care about their mom's feelings. We know Michael doesn't because he said that it didn't bother him at all. Miles says that his mother alluded to them not caring about her feelings and how she wanted to at some time retire. Cecil said that 80% of their arguments are about their sons and the lack of control that Cecil may, or the not lack of control, but the lack of support that Simone may feel from Cecil when she's having conversation with these boys or trying to correct them for spending her money. And then Cecil takes his boys out to lunch. So we go back to the ladies at the beach house in Miramar Beach, Florida. And the ladies are preparing for dinner. We see Mimi getting dressed and she calls Steve. Steve tells Mimi that he had to do office camp again with Stevie because they were running late. Steve says Stevie thrives in a routine, and when Mimi's out of town, it kind of throws them off. Mimi said that Steve, she asked him if he would have swam with her with the dolphins, and he is a long pause. She goes, hello, hello. And he said, hell no. I thought that was funny. The ladies come down and Contessa greets them all. I thought that was cute. She came to the bottom of the stairs and she's like, y'all come on down and let's have dinner. And as they come down, she was greeting them all, telling them how good they looked. Just being very, very pleasant. I said in my notes, Contessa has been a great host. She chose a great home. The activities have been good. The games have been funny. I think has been a great host. Contessa asked the chef to introduce himself, and he says his name is Chef Christopher. He's an award-winning chef. He said that he had been the chef of the year down there for the past 10 years. He also told them that he was born and raised in Atlanta, and he cooked them some Wu-Tang chicken wings. And Dr. Jackie said that she didn't know nothing about no Wu-Tang chicken wings. And he starts serving them. And Quad asked Simone if she would say the grace, and Simone screams out, "No!" in Simone's fashion. But Toya said she would say the grace, and she said a very nice prayer. We're going over, Contessa opens up the conversation by asking Heavenly why she got on a plane to come there and not tell her. And Heavenly says that she had a lot of things going on. Heavenly says she needs to get her space together. She didn't want to come in with the wrong energy. Then Contessa says, is it not because you didn't want to come on the same plane as Simone? And Toya says, or in the same house. Toya always got to add in her little input, even though nobody care. Dr. Heavenly said, I didn't want any negative energy. Simone says that she expressed to the group that Dr. Heavenly said she did not feel safe around her. And I put in my quotations, where did Simone get that information from? Because we know Heavenly didn't talk to her. So where did Simone get that information from? Who told Simone that? Dr. Heavenly corrects her, and she says, what I said was, I'm done. I'm not coming. Okay? Heavenly said, I said that you were aggressive, and I used the word unhinged. It was a lot, and I didn't want to come with that energy. I said that you pushed me, and a lot happened. Simone says, I didn't push you. And I said, either it was a push or a shove, but you definitely removed Heavenly's hand from around you. Heavenly said, well, I was touched. And I said, but to be fair, Heavenly touched Simone first for a picture. They asked her to take a picture. She put her arm around her shoulder, not her neck, around her shoulder. And Simone removed her hand and said she did not want to be fake. I think Heavenly's perception is, and her view is off. Dr. Simone said Heavenly's arm was around her neck, but in all honesty, Heavenly had not gotten her hand in place before Simone moved her arm. So she had put her hand around her shoulder, but before the hand could completely engage, she had shoved her hand off of her. It was not as gentle as Simone is pretending it was. I just said, get your hand up. It wasn't nothing there. Maybe she moved her hand off of her, put her hand up, and said, I don't want to be fake. Don't put your hand on me, which is fair. Production rolled the tape, and they showed it again. Simone said the Heavenly had her hand around her neck. She did not. Heavenly said Simone cussed her. She did not. So, like I said, two people can see the same thing and be looking at something totally different. After watching the tape, Simone did move Heavenly's arm, and it wasn't around her neck, and it was on her shoulders. They both missed parts that they wanted to point out. Heavenly wanted to point out that there was cussing involved, and Simone wanted to point out that Heavenly had her hand around her neck. She did not. If Heavenly had to touch Simone, all of this probably could have been avoided, but she did. They said, let's take a picture. These women take pictures all day long. So telling her to take a picture and she going in for the picture, you not want to take a picture, was not what Heavenly probably thought was going to happen. And I want to just talk about the unhinged part. Now, they're talking, Simone saying, saying to someone it was unhinged was kind of rough, but I want you to see this. She did act unhinged. Let's play this.
What is this? No. To French shit like your household is good. She's acting a damn fool. You want to put your script? I get that she's a hater. I get it. She got a problem. The disrespect from you.
They both are yelling. They both are acting unhinged. But Dr. Simone has a tendency to always be yelling. Everything goes to a yell. If you go back in seasons past, I remember when they were on that boat and she and Contessa got into it. Well, actually, Scott stepped up for Contessa. All that yelling, that was Simone, and they had to drag her behind out that boat. Just always something with Simone.
Bring it, girl. I got you. Bring it. This is our life. Bring it, bitch. Bring it. Look, in the name of
That is unhinged behavior.
Jesus, y'all get the hell up out of here if y'all ain't gonna act right. If you talking crazy to me, you gotta get it.
Tensions explode.
So definitely unhinged behavior. We just saw it. Unhinged behavior. Again, Simone was doing, she did more than 10. She put 20 on 10 over there. While they're sitting at the table, the chef brings their dinner while the ladies are talking. Simone said something about she can't do it. Simone then said she was not going to eat because she was unhinged. But I just showed you, Simone did behave unhinged. Now, she wasn't the only one yelling, but she did behave unhinged at Angel's party. And I said in my comments, I ain't allowing none of y'all to ruin my appetite. Dr. Heavenly said that Simone was yelling, screaming, and jumping all over the place. I just showed you Simone screaming, yelling, and she was moving around, pumping her fists, and doing all kinds of stuff. Toya said she was going to get some red wine. Then in her confessional, she said that she did not see that from Simone. She saw typical Simone yelling and screaming from the top of her lungs. Isn't that what Heavenly said, except for the jumping around? Heavenly said all that. But we just saw on the YouTube video I just showed you where where Simone was doing all that moving behind that table and really getting unhinged. She did show us some unhinged behavior. I said Toya is a full-on instigator. Simone is an unhinged physician. I said Simone is an unhinged physician. Why was she acting so childish? Simone lacks attention at home. So she acts up everywhere she goes. Girl, go on to your room. There's no way I would have stopped her. Dr. Jackie runs over to stop her, but she probably should have let Simone go to her room and then maybe go into her room afterwards, maybe a little bit later. The very fact that your loud classless behavior was called out bothers you. So good, Dr. Simone. Somebody needs to call out the very fact that you do this behavior quite often. Whenever you get upset, you do it everywhere you go. We all have seen it throughout the seasons. We're in season number 12. So 12 seasons later, we've seen you from season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 act like this. This isn't anything new. Dr. Jackie, when Dr. Jackie was trying to talk to Simone, she was over talking her because she ran up to her to try to talk to her. And she was unwilling to listen. This is when you walk off, is what I said. Leave her, just let her be. Leave her there. Simone said Heavenly was a lying, low-life botch. But what exactly is Heavenly lying about? That's what I want to know. That's what Simone said. Simone said Heavenly was a lying, low life. But what exactly is Heavenly lying about? All of those things pretty much took place. The unhinged behavior, the yelling, the jumping around, and the screaming. All of that happened. Maybe not the cussing. She didn't cuss at her when she removed her arm. But all of the other things happened. And all of this was because Quad confronted Simone about saying she wanted to look up her VIN number on her car. Dr. Simone told Simone to say it. Simone said it would be nice if just once Jackie would stand up for what's right. And at this point, I don't blame Jackie. I would play the even side. I wouldn't jump on either side because nobody's right in this situation. The issue is neither of these women is right, is what I put in my notes. Contessa said, what I'm hearing is that your intentions were for you not to come and not her. It was not for her not to come. It was only for you, Heavenly, not to come. Toya then says, what about ruining her as a physician, making her look like she's aggressive? No one has to make Simone look like she's aggressive. We all have seen her behavior and her mannerisms. She looks aggressive, even with her own children. I understand they frustrate her, but we also saw her looking aggressive in the conversation with her boys. When you make comments like that, Dr. Heavenly said again, she was aggressive. Heavenly's not taking it back. She was aggressive, and I agree. Simone was aggressive, but I would say Heavenly right when Simone went loud, Heavenly went loud as well. I wouldn't say Heavenly was aggressive, but I will say she was loud. Toya says to Heavenly, "You are just as aggressive," which I put can be true, but at that moment, Heavenly was not aggressive. If you noticed, if you rewinded back to the beginning of that episode, when Heavenly walked in, well, we'll get to that because it's actually Heavenly talks about that when they go out to sit by the pool. So we'll get to that. So that makes them both wrong, is what I put, not just Heavenly. Dr. Mimi told Toya, "I asked you not to interject." And I put, Toya just can't help it, baby. She just cannot help it. Toya said, "I'm not interjecting. I'm asking a question." And I put, Toya is the agent of chaos. They explained to her that that was interjecting. Dr. Mimi said, "You know what Toya is doing?" Because Heavenly walks off. Dr. Mimi walks over to Heavenly and she goes, "You know what Toya is doing. You have to ignore her. Toya is baiting you, Heavenly." And I put, just as she did with Quad and Mariah. Toya has been a baiter. Remember the around the pool? That was Toya baiting on Mariah. The situation with Quad and Mariah having a fallout. Toya baited all. Toya is a baiter. And you have to think back. Every time that there was someone that they wanted to vote off the island, it was always Toya baiting. She baited Simone when they got rid of when they told Mariah that they really felt like she did not need to be on the show anymore. It was also Toya and Simone when they told Quad that they no longer wanted her over at the wine company. But baby, they couldn't get rid of Quad because Quad is a fan favorite. Dr. Mimi said, "You when they asked, Toya to stop interjecting, Dr. Mimi recognized that Toya wanted to get Heavenly upset and keep her from addressing the things at hand because Toya wanted really to make the conversation about her, and it was not about her. This situation right now that they were addressing was about Simone and Dr. Heavenly. Then Toya asked another question. Toya asked Heavenly, "If you had an issue with your friend, Simone, why didn't you?" And before she could finish, Heavenly interjected and said, "Is she my friend?" Toya asked Heavenly, "If she wasn't your friend, why did you put your hands on her in the first place?" I put Toya such a fly by night girl, because baby, what are you talking about? You're making it seem as though Dr. Heavenly may have assaulted Simone, which was not the case. They were getting ready to lean in to take a picture. Someone asked them to take a picture. Excuse me. Dr. Heavenly said she didn't put her hands on Simone. She said, "I didn't put my hands on Simone." And Toya said, "So she just randomly pushed you." Dr. Mimi told Toya again that wasn't fair. This isn't fair. Then Toya starts in on the other women. You can hear them going back and forth. Dr. Mimi said Toya does not want resolution. And I put, but she never wants resolve. She never wants anything resolved. Dr. Mimi takes Dr. Heavenly outside and she grabs Contessa. And somehow, Brown Nose Brandy ends up outside with them. Brandy asks Dr. Heavenly if she understood the implication of use certain words like hostile. Dr. Heavenly responds with, "It was hostile." But in the same breath, Dr. Heavenly never said hostile. I don't believe she said hostile. I believe she said it was, she gave a bunch of things, but I don't remember if hostile was one of the words. Aggressive was one, and maybe hostile was one of the words. Um, and she said, Dr. Heavenly responds, "But it was hostile." Brandy says that their medical license require that you behave in a certain way. And if someone says you assaulted them, then it could absolutely tarnish your reputation. The issue with that is that this push of the hand was recorded. It's on television for all to see. So the very fact that you're saying that someone assaulted, we all see that it was not an assault. We see that it was aggressive behavior, but I wouldn't say that it was an assault. Because we could also say that Heavenly putting her hand around Simone to take a picture was an assault. Neither one was an assault. Um, Dr. Simone says she needs to give grace, but she wasn't ready. All the while, the agent of chaos is laughing. When they're sitting in there and they're talking, the agent of chaos is sitting there giggling. I want you to see this.
Right now it's probably not transferable that way.
She's talking to Simone.
Sometimes it makes me like
Toy just giggle, giggle, giggle. Everything's funny.
that we do have that
Just
luxury
hilarious.
to take it.
Because she loves chaos. She thrives in chaos. Um, Dr. Jackie said if she was willing to apologize to Dr. Simone, that she asked Heavenly if she was willing to apologize to Dr. Simone. Heavenly said that everyone keeps saying that Simone is going through so much, and she is going through so much too. Dr. Jackie told Heavenly, you can go in there and you can say you're sorry. Dr. Jackie told Heavenly, you can go in there and you can say you're sorry and mean it. She told Heavenly to stop it because Heavenly was, trying to give an excuse. Dr. Jackie also said, I don't want to make light of the fact that you're hurting. And Heavenly began to cry. The agent of chaos is right there to laugh again in Heavenly's face because she was crying. Dr. Jackie mentioned about Heavenly not knowing where her son was and how hard that had to be. And Heavenly broke down and she started crying. I even shed a tear because it has to be a painful situation. And Heavenly says, I don't cry. And I think that was the biggest thing because, sometimes your strongest friends are your softest friends. That's why they talk so hard. And I put it, of course, the agent of chaos was started laughing after Dr. Jackie mentioned Heavenly not knowing where her son was. Dr. Jackie said, you have to understand her hurt just like she understands your hurt. But I want you to see the agent of chaos as she is laughing again.
And she shared too. It didn't have no offense. She didn't enjoy the beat up. Okay.
I just don't think there was a time and a place for that. Anywho, you see, Simone's on the inside, Heavenly's on the outside. They are trying to wrap up the night. It's kind of going a little rough. Brandy and Toya are two peas in a pod because they go over in the corner and they start talking to Simone about Dr. Heavenly being messy. Simone doesn't want to talk now, and neither does Heavenly. So they decide to play a game. They play the game called Petty Pop. The first question is, which friend is always checking the energy of the group, but never their own? And someone runs over and pops Toya's balloon because definitely that is always Toya. The second question was, who breaks the sound barrier? And baby, when I tell you Heavenly got up and went over there and popped Simone's balloon. No, I'm sorry. I don't think that's who popped Simone's balloon. Somebody went over there and popped Simone's balloon because we know that Simone is always breaking the sound barrier. The third question is, who is the first to jump bad, but also as soon as things get heated, plays the victim, and Heavenly runs over and pops Simone's balloon. Toya goes, oh, that's too soon, too soon. Girl, shut up. Shut up, shut up. This is a game. Play the game and move on. The fourth question, who is the only friend to not support her girlfriend in her political endeavors? And of course, they're talking about Toya. The fifth question was, who is the best, dressed the best in the group? And Angel pops her balloon. She goes, I'm going to pop my own balloon. Quad pops her balloon. Dr. Jackie pops her balloon. We do know that Quad, Angel, and Dr. Jackie always dress the part. Number 6, excuse me. Who treats their friends like their patients? And of course, they're talking about Dr. Mimi. Baby, they start popping their own balloon. Number 7, who never uses their voice to defend their friends, even when someone is in the wrong? And Quad says, Jackie, baby, they talk about you. So they start popping Jackie's balloon. All this was done in lightheartedness. 8th question was, does it make enough time for the friend group? Of course, they're talking about Quad. So they pop all of Quad's balloons. And who was the best host for the weekend? And they said it was Contessa. When I tell you, Contessa has done a great job with this group on this trip. They have played the game. She didn't care if they was fussing and fighting. She had a way to reel them in with the games, and the games were lighthearted. I loved it. The next day, Quad and Dr. Heavenly in bed, and they're reading the Bible, and Heavenly's telling them that in Ephesians, the Bible talks about dealing with spiritual wickedness. And Heavenly says they aren't dealing with people, they're dealing with spirits. Heavenly says she cannot come in the campaign being weak and polite. And then Dr. Heavenly says, you cannot be Dr. Jackie through this thing. And she cusses. She says it's not going to work. And Quad says, oh, you got the Bible open. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Lord, forgive me. I thought that was hilarious. We see Contessa going from room to room with her laptop, and she's asking everybody what are the issues they're having and how she could be a better host. I thought that was a cute thing because you should always be evolving. And I think Contessa said this is something she does as a physician. She goes into the rooms where the patients are, and she does like a survey and an assessment, ask the patients how they could better serve them. I think that's a very cute thing. Simone said Heavenly is there on some BS. And then when she goes to Heavenly says she just wants to speak and be heard. So that everybody can understand her feelings and to see if she could get Toya to shut up, is what she asked Contessa. Can you see if you can get Toya just to shut up? Contessa probably said, I probably can't get her to shut up. Probably not. Over in Tacky Toya and Brown Nose Brandy's room, they're discussing Dr. Heavenly, and Toya says Heavenly still hasn't said she's sorry. Brandy says, yeah, if she says I'm sorry today, then maybe that is a step that her and Simone could take. Contessa said her diagnosis for the group is there are a lot of personality disorders in this group, and the ladies gather at the pool. Toya said Mimi keeps counting her drinks, and we do see a montage of Mimi asking her, girl, what you drinking? And Mimi said that, Dr. Mimi said that if Toya's drinking wine, then that's a good Toya. But if she's on that vodka or that tequila, then Toya, that's something else. That's a something else kind of Toya. Contessa asked Simone if Heavenly could talk, and Simone said yes, she could say whatever she needed to the group. And then Simone goes and gets her cell phone and says, do you mind if I take notes? I thought that was weird. Contessa said, ask that Heavenly could get to talk uninterrupted and ask any questions that you may have after Heavenly was completed. And that's when Simone asked about if she could take notes on her phone. Heavenly talked about her running for her campaign, and she said that she had a great campaign start. And then when she went to Angel's event, she was all excited and happy. The first thing she ran into was Simone. And Simone said that she had been sent a list of complaints or things that Heavenly needed to get right by Toya. So she said, first thing I ran into was we have this list for you and everything that you said wrong. They pan over to a clip of Simone at Angel's party soon as Heavenly walks in, and she's saying that Toya has this list that she made, and she sent it to me while I was sitting in traffic, is what Simone is telling Heavenly. And Toya says in the clip, I want to make sure that what you say is accurate. And Heavenly is defending herself, and she's saying, I know that it's accurate because I've done the research. Heavenly then says, when Simone said that Toya wrote the list, she automatically went to the negative because it is all that she's experienced from Toya. Heavenly said, when you came with that, and then when they went to take pictures, you told me to get my so-and-so hands off you. I said to myself, I can't go on a trip with them hoes. Heavenly said, I exploded myself from the group. She said she knew what words she needed to use to make this happen. She said, I said it was toxic, it was volatile, and Simone was unhinged. That's why I said I hadn't heard the word hostile that Brandy used, but child, these people say what they want to say. Toya says, can I please say something? And they all tell Toya, no, in unison. Like you hear, no. Heavenly said they could get to the bottom if they could get Toya to shut up. And I agree. Heavenly walks off. She gets up and she walks off because Toya wants to make this conversation about her and whatever she wants. Toya makes it about her instead of the situation at hand, which is Simone and Heavenly. Toya really should just extract herself from being involved in this situation at this moment or even trying to comment. Heavenly walks off. Dr. Mimi talks to Heavenly, and then Heavenly returns. Toya takes his time to make it all about her. It's all about me. And Dr. Mimi says in her confessional that Toya likes to see people in chaos. And I've already said earlier that I believe Toya loves, she's the agent of chaos. She loves it. She thrives in it. Heavenly talks to Simone one-on-one. They go over to the side and they talk. Simone says she felt violated when Heavenly used the language that was defaming to her character. But we also see that Simone does things that is defaming to her character. All that yelling, all that screaming, all that, you can get it, you can do all that, too much. We saw that Quad also exhibited some really, really aggressive behavior when it came down to Simone at Angel's event as well. But we didn't address any of that because apparently that wasn't an issue. The issue is with Heavenly, which to me is asinine. Simone said of all the people there, she had been very close to Heavenly. And she continues to drag her. She's telling Heavenly, I've been close to you, but you continue to drag me. They continue to talk, and Heavenly does apologize to Simone. And she said she didn't want anything to come between their relationship and their friendship. And Simone agreed, but she said she did not trust Heavenly. And that was the end of the episode. We see next week is going to be a continuation of them still being in Miramar Beach. And I think that this is a great season so far. Great episode. If you don't mind, let's talk about it in the chat. This is a pre-recorded video, but I'm going to be in the chat with you when it goes live so we can talk about it. You guys have a great night. If no one told you today that they love you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye.